Good afternoon. My name is Manoj Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, as a Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today, in this lecture, we will learn about the function and string in Python programming language. This is the table of content that I will discuss in this video lecture. First is the what is function in Python, built-in function in Python, what are different type of built-in functions supported by the Python programming language. After that, user-defined function, how we can define a user-defined function in C programming language, and how we can execute a user-defined function in Python programming language. And after that, different types of parameters or arguments passed the function, and those arguments are basically, first is the keyword argument. So what is the keyword argument, how we can use the keyword argument, and second one is the default argument, how the default argument is passed in the function and how we can use, and third one is the positional argument in Python. So keyword argument, default argument and positional arguments in the Python are basically used to pass inside the function. So we will discuss about this, and after that we will see the string, what is string, and what are different type of string methods or string functions are available in Python programming language. Okay, so start with the function. What is function? So function is a block of code defined with a name. Actually, inside whenever we have to execute a certain task, then we write the code of statement inside a particular block, and that block has a specific name, and that name is basically the function name. So whenever we use function, we need to perform the same task multiple time. Suppose for the repetition purpose, we also use the loop in programming language, but we can also use the function. Okay, function basically provide the facility write once and use anywhere, use many times. We suppose we have to execute some code more than one time in a program. We require that particular line of code more than one time in a program. So instead of writing that particular code of statements every place, we write that block of code once and use anywhere within the program. To use anywhere within the program, we simply call that function. Okay, so function is basically a block of code defined in the program, and that block of code can be used many times by the concept of function calling within the program. So a scenario, consider a scenario where we need to do some action or task many times. We can define that action only once using a function and call that function whenever or wherever we required to do the same activity within the program again and again. Okay, so function improves the efficiency and reduce the error because of the reusability of the code. Reusability is an important feature of any programming language. If a programming language support the concept of reusability, it means it take the less time because to writing the code in writing the codes. Okay, so this is the function. First one is the built-in function in Python programming language. Built-in functions are those functions that are defined in Python programming language software or that is supported by the Python programming. They are already defined. For example, ABS. This is used to calculate the absolute value. And for example, input. This is basically used to accept the input from the user. And after that, max. This is the mathematical function which is used to calculate the maximum. Okay, in the same way, these in this table, different types of built-in functions that are supported by the programming language has been shown. Suppose this is the sum. Sum is used to calculate the sum of some integer value. This is the type function. Type function is basically used to describe the type of a particular variable or type of a particular value. Okay, so these are several built-in functions available in Python programming language. Next one is the user defined function. How we can create a function or how we can define a function. It's our own function in the Python programming language. Okay, so to define the function defined by the programmer itself is known as the user defined function, and in order to define the user defined function in Python programming language, we use the def keyword. Okay, this is the basic syntax to define the to define a function in Python programming language. Function means here user defined function. So at first we use the def keyword. After that we use the name, function name, and then in parenthesis we will pass the argument or parameter of the function. After that we use the colon. So this is the basic syntax to declare the function. Okay, keyword def, function name, and the function's parameter, and this is the colon. This colon basically represent the starting of the block of function code. Okay, so this here statement, this statement means body of function. Whatever the code or whatever the statements you will write in this function, that will be written over here. Okay, after that, if function return any kind of value, then we will use the return keyword and the value. So this is the basic syntax to define a function in Python programming language. At first we use the def keyword, after that function name given by the user, then number of arguments, or you can say that the argument list passed to the function, then we will use the colon. After this, this is the block of code. In C programming language, we use the braces for the block of code, but in Python here we use the colon, and after this colon, this a particular area is the body of the function or represent the statement written inside the function. In the end of the function, we use the return keyword if the function return any kind of value. This is optional. This depends on the program whether the function return value or not. If function return value, then we will use the return keyword. So this is the basic syntax to define a function in Python programming language. For example, in this example, what we are doing, we are defining a function. Name of the function is CSE3. So at first we are using the def keyword, after that CSE3 and parenthesis. Here no argument is passed. It means this CSE3 is a function without any argument. Okay, function may be parameterized function or non-parameterized function. It depends on the our requirement. Suppose if we are making a program for the calculation of to find the sum of two number. In that case, we can pass two parameter a and b to calculate the sum. But here our purpose is just to simple print this message using the function concept. So we have used a non-parameterized function. Okay, so first we use the def keyword. After that, function name. This is CSE3 is a function, and this function doesn't accept any parameter, and we are using this statement inside this function. It means printf print I am from CSE3. So this statement is known as the body of function. Okay, so this is the function defined and this is the body of function. This is the statement written inside the function, and since this function doesn't return any kind of value, so return statement is not used here. And here CSE3, this is the function calling. In order to execute this function, we have to call the defined function. Okay, so here this is the simple function calling. So when we execute this program, then Python interpreter will call at this statement. Python interpreter will call to the function. Program control will be written here, and the statement written inside the function that will be executed. So output of this program will be I am from CSE3. Okay, next is the default argument in the function. Default argument are passed inside the parenthesis after the function name, and we can pass multiple argument inside the parenthesis separating by the comma. So default argument are the argument which represent the function argument that can be used if no argument are passed to the function code. Okay, we will see it with the help of an example. So when we define a function and we are passing some kind of arguments in the function, but at the function calling, if we don't pass argument, then what argument that function will be accept. So to implement that kind of scenario, we use the default argument. For example, here this is a program. In this program, what we are doing, we are making a function, and the function name is function default. Okay, so this is the def keyword, this is the function name, and here we are passing three argument. arg1, this is the argument 1, and this is the argument 2 is equal to default x. So this is default x is the default value of argument 2. Here I am not assigning any value to argument 1. Okay, argument 2 I am assigning the value default x. Again to argument to the third argument 3, I am assigning the value default y. Okay, so here in this statement I am defining a function, declaring a function default, and I am passing three parameter, argument 1, argument 2, argument 3. What the argument 2 is initialized by default x, argument 3 is default initialized by the default y. It means these default x and default y are the default value of argument 2 and argument 3. Okay, now see this statement, print argument 1, print argument 2, print argument 3. Now, here this is the simple print statement. Now, this statement is the function calling statement, and I am here passing the parameter, one parameter a. Okay, here I am passing the parameter a. So, at this statement, what happen? When this function will be called, program control will be written over here, and these statements are written inside this function. It means these are the body of this function. So, at first print argument 1, okay, and the value of argument 1 is a. So, a will be printed. Again, what is the role of default argument? Here, in this case, I am not passing the value of argument 2 and argument 3. Try to understand. Only one argument is passed here, a. Argument 2 and argument 3 are not passed. So, here for arg1 value is a, and for arg2 and arg3, since the second and third argument are not passed, so in this case the default value which I have assigned here, that will be printed. That is the concept of default argument. It means if we don't pass here the argument, then corresponding default value will be printed. So here at first a will print. When we execute this program, a will print, and for arg2 default x will be printed, and for arg3 default y will be printed. Okay. Next, when this function will be called, here I am passing two parameters, first a and b. Okay. So here again I am printing the arg2. Yeah, again these three statement will be executed. So when print arg1 will execute, so arg1 value will be a, and value of arg2 will be v. Okay. And since here third argument is not passed, so for arg3 the default value will be considered. Hence, when this function will be called, then output will be a, b, and default y. Again, this is the third statement of the function calling. Here I am passing first parameter a, and arg3 is equal to c. Okay. So here second argument is not passed. So for second argument, default value default x will be considered. So here our output will be a, default x, and c. So this is the concept of default argument in Python. This is another example for the default argument. Here I am defining a function add numbers, and this is the def keyword. Value of a is 7 and value of b is 8. What I am doing, sum is equal to a plus b. This is the statement written inside the function, and print the sum. Okay. So when we will call this function, here I am calling this function add number 2, 3. It means here by default the value of a, here the value of a is 2 and value of b is 3. So at this statement, when the function will call, then the sum will be printed as 2 plus 3, it means 5. It will not consider 7 and 8. 7 and 8 value of a and b as 7 and 8 will be considered only in default case, when we will not pass, because here I am passing both parameter a and b. So value of a will be 2, value of b will be 3. So sum will be 5. Now again in this case, here value of a is 2, but I am not passing here the value of b. So in this case, the default value of b will be considered, and the default value of b is 8. So what will be printed here? Here 2 plus 8. So value of sum will be 10. So sum 10 will be printed. Again here in this case, here this is the function, again function calling, and I am not passing any parameter. Neither the value of a is passed, neither the value of b is passed. So in this case, the default value of a and b will be considered, and the default value of a is 7 and default value of b is 8. So 7 plus 8, that will be 15 will be printed. Okay. So this is the concept of the default argument in Python. Next one is the keyword argument. Keyword argument are also known as the named argument, and these are the value when passed into a function, then they identifiable by a specific parameter name. It means here we are assigning a parameter name to the argument. Okay, and for that purpose we use the assignment operator. Keyword argument can be linked to the dictionary. In that they map to a value to a keyword. Okay, like attribute, after that equal operator and the value of that particular attribute. In the same way we will assign this. This is the general syntax: function name, argument name, and the value. So this type of syntax is basically used when in the keyword argument concept inside the function. Okay, this is the example of the keyword argument. Here I am using a function student. So def keyword is used to define the function. Then function name is student, first parameter is name, second parameter is age, and this is the statement written inside the function, or you can say that this is the body of function, and here this is the function calling statement. Okay, so here name is equal to zone. It means this is the attribute and value of this attribute is zone. Here age is the attribute and value of attribute is 12. Okay, so at this statement, when function is called, control will go to the where the function is defined, and inside that statement will be executed. So here value of name will be printed zone and value of age will be printed 12. So when we execute this statement, then zone and 12 will be output. This is the second example of the keyword argument. Here again we have defined a function student and two parameters name and age, and this is the statement written inside the function body. And what is here student age is equal to 13 and name is equal to Kelly. Okay, so what is happening here? It means if we here the order of argument is what? First argument is name and second argument is age. Okay, what at the time of function calling, the first argument is age and second argument is name. It means what is the concept? Concept is here, in case of keyword argument, if we change the order of sequence of the arguments, then it will also be acceptable. Okay, so here name will be printed as this and age will be printed as 13. It means if we change the order of arguments, then nothing will be changed, it will simply execute. Okay, so this is the concept. Next one is the positional argument. Positional arguments are those arguments where the value get assigned according to the positions of the argument. When the function is called, for example, the first position argument must be the first, and when the function is called, and second positional arguments need to be second when the function is called. Why default? Why default in the Python function are called using positional argument. This is the default form of the function of the argument inside the function. Let's see an example. Here this is a function sub, and this function accept two parameter a and b, and here I am printing a minus b. This is the statement written inside the function. So this is the function calling statement. So value of a will be considered as 50, value of b will be considered as 10. It means in which order, in which position the parameters arguments are passed, in same order the value will be mapped. Here the value of a will be 10, value of b will be value of a will be 50 and value of b will be 10. So when this statement will execute, then 50 minus 10, 40 will be output. Again in this case the first parameter is 10. It means 10 will map corresponding to a and 50 is mapped corresponding to v. So value of a will be 10, value of b will be 50. So a minus b, that will be 10 minus 50, it means minus 40. So when this function is called, then in this case the output will be 40, and when this is called, in this case the value of minus 40. Okay, next is the string in Python. So string is a combination of the characters. String is a sequence of character, and in Python string also represent a data structure. It means it is used to store the character data, and different type of operations can be performed on the string. String is immutable. Immutable means once we have created a string, then we cannot change it. It is not mutable. Okay, string are used widely in many different applications, such as storing and manipulating the textual data, representing name, address, and other types of data that can be represented as text. How to create a string in Python? So to create a string in Python, we simply create a variable, any variable name like str. We use the equal operator. After that, inside the double quotes, we use the string. Okay, we can also use the single quote. Here hello world is a string. It means here str is a variable or str is an object whose value is string type, and that value is the hello world. Okay, so sequence of single and double quotes can be used to create a string. It means we can also write the hello world in single quote instead of double quotes. Okay. Accessing the characters by the index of a string. It means if we want to access a characters at the specified index in the string, then we can use the index value of that particular character, and that concept is known as the indexing and slicing. We use the slice operator along with the index value. Okay, so string indexing start from 0, like here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 for space and 6 for W and 7, 8, 9, 10 in this way. Okay, so string index start from 0. We can access individual characters in a string by mentioning the index number in the square bracket, and that square bracket is also known as the slice operator in Python programming language. Okay, so we can also return a range of character by using the slice syntax. It means suppose if we have to extract the substring, okay, like we have to extract ELL from this string. So here index of E will be 1 again, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 extra will be added. So 1 to 4, that in that case ELL will be extracted. We will see an example over here. Suppose this is a string CSE3 AKGEC. Now in the next statement, this is the value of str. It means string is CSE AKGEC, and I am printing the str again square bracket and 2. So 2 is the index. So in this case the character which will be at the index 2, that will be printed. So since the string index start from 0, so this is 0, 1, 2. So in this case E will be printed. Okay, so when we execute this program, so E will be printed. Now next statement str 1 to 4. So this is used to extract the character inside the string which lie on this index. Okay, so 1 index is of S, 2 index for E, 3 index for 3 and 4 index for A. Okay, so 4 will not be considered. It will extract the character which are at the index 1, 2 and 3. So output will be SE3. SE3 will be the output. Again in this case str1 colon. So what happen in this case, it will extract the string from index 1 to the end of the string. It means from S to C it will be printed. Okay, here -3 means from reverse direction, and for the reverse direction here the index value will be -1, this is -2 and this is -3. Okay, we can also access the string characters of the string in the reverse direction. Okay, so here when we will pass the -3, then the G will be printed. Okay, next the different string methods available in Python programming language. First one is the string length. So in order to calculate the length means number of characters inside the string, we use the len function. Simple len function. This is the built-in function in Python programming language, and this function is used to calculate the length of a string. Second operation is string concatenation. Suppose we have two separate string 1 and string 2, and we want to add those string as a string 3. Okay, so to add two string we use the plus operator. Splitting string, splitting matlab ki split function is basically used to split or to extract the substring. Okay, next upper function is used to convert a string written in lowercase to uppercase. Again lower function is used to convert a string which is written in uppercase into the lowercase. Okay, replace function or replace method is used to replace an existing character or alphabet inside the given string. Next count is basically used to count the total number of characters specified in the string. Index function is used to represent the index of a specific character. And again find method find the first occurrence of the specified value. Let us see an example of each. Here we have two string in this program. String 1 is CSE AKGEC and string 2 is CSE AKGEC. String 1 is written in uppercase and string 2 is written in lowercase. So in first statement str2 dot upper, it means we are executing the upper function on string 2. So this will convert into uppercase and this will be the output. in the second statement, str1 dot lower, str1 is written in uppercase, so this function will convert it into lowercase and it will print in lowercase. In third, str2 dot replace csc comma it. It means where the csc is written in string 2, then this csc will be replaced by the it. So when this statement will execute, then it will print it AKGEC. Okay. Next, str1 dot find e. str1 is here. So str1 index means 0, 1, 2. So here 2 will be printed. Dot find m. So m, since the m doesn't exist in this string. So if a character does not exist in a string, then the default value will be -1. So -1 is printed over here. Here str1 dot index e. So index of e is 2. 2 is printed. str2 dot count e. It means how many number of time e occurs in the string 2. So here this is the first occurrence of e, this is the second occurrence of e. So it will printed total number of occurrence of e, that will be 2. Okay. So in this video lecture we have discussed the functions and different types of argument passed inside the function in Python programming language, like the default argument, keyword argument and the positional argument. And after that we have seen the concept of strings and different string methods available in Python programming language for different manipulation over the string or to perform different function over the string. Okay, thank you.